What are the worst things about having a best friend of the opposite gender? People assuming one of you has feelings or both of you have feelings and are denying it. My best friend killed himself 8 years ago. I still speak of him frequently because he was my best freaking friend. My boyfriend knows that I loved him as a friend, but his friends and family seem to think that he was my long lost lover or something, because I'm not over it. I'd like to think if one of them died, people wouldn't get over it. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm glad that your boyfriend is understanding at least. That his girlfriend started being so jealous that he had to stop talking to me. And I'm not even mad. I don't want him to be alone, but I'm so worried because he has been through a lot and his girlfriend is not very supportive in my opinion. I don't want him to be hurt. When you start getting those special feelings for him or even if you don't want to and you know there will never be the chance for both of you getting in a relationship. That's a nice, fulfilling friendship you've got right there. Would be a shame if something were to come along and frick it all up. Hormones. Jealous significant others. I've had a GF who wanted me to choose between her and my best friend. Easiest breakup of my life. I hate this drama. She's been my best friend since college. We've only dated for a few months. Obviously I'll pick the friend. Back in 5th grade, I had a guy friend. He got bullied for hanging out with chicks. We were both in tears when we reported it to the teachers. You aren't gay for hanging out with girls. In short, other people's opinions. Longer version. If both are heterosexual, and sometime if it's not true, it's still weirdly being overlooked. You must have some sexual relationship going on. If not, well, one of you must be in love with the other and is just waiting for the right time, even after years of happy relationships on both sides. Rom-coms and sitcoms don't exactly help. All that the right person was the friend all along nonsense. Everyone thinks you're secretly dating or in love with each other. My best friend would hook up with girls I knew and they would almost always ask him not to tell me, and one of them would ask me repeatedly if we had anything going on in secret. The second worst thing about having a best friend of the opposite gender is we actually did end up falling in love, so we had to listen to a few months of I Told You So before the novelty wore off. Still a great decision though, 2 years down the line. Trust nobody, not even yourself. You'd be an adorable couple. Are you two dating each other? High school is a pain with more than a few opposite gender friends. I can definitely relate. I was the type of girl growing up whose friends were mostly guys. I dated one person during high school, but for some reason a lot of the student body thought I was simultaneously dating 5 guys, which was crazy. I'm a gay guy with a straight girl for a best friend. Everyone thinks we're either dating or fricking, including her family. I have made it very clear I'm gay and definitely not into her. 4 years later and they still make comments about it. Have sex with her dad to establish dominance. Best things. We just click naturally. Same sense of humor. We've been friends for so long we might as well be siblings. Worst things. Oreyougusd@ine. Jealous partners. This is literally me with my female friend right now. My best friend in college was female. Professional photographer. Did bread and butter work to pay the bills, i.e. weddings, babies, birthdays, etc etc. We'd always go out and do the fun stuff together though. Wander the vast wilderness of upstate New York, finding centuries lost buildings and natural beauty to capture. Great friendship, truly effortless. Things just clicked. Then she developed feelings for me which were entirely unreciprocated and it drove a wedge between us. Sad really, but we drifted so far apart that we haven't spoken in years. I don't use social media of any sort, so staying in contact is impossible. I've had the same mobile number for 20 years. She knows this number and has never reached out. So I suppose the most difficult part of that friendship was that her inability to move on from her unrequited romantic feelings. I think this happens to a lot more people than they're willing to admit. Bro. People saying you must like the other person so much that it tricks you into actually liking them, even though those thoughts didn't exist before someone pressed you into them. Dang, it do be that way sometimes. When she has a boyfriend, she forgets how to communicate with you. This. Granted, I wouldn't call us best friends. I thought we had a good thing going. I was pretty stoked too because I never had any cool friends before, so I thought she'd introduce me to raves, house parties, etc. Then she starts seeing some guy and completely ghosted. Then when they start having trouble, she's suddenly hitting me up again. We became friends because I had a major crush on her. After I asked her out and got rejected, we became really close friends. Now people assume we're dating all the time and it's awkward, although it seems to embarrass her more than me. I think it's probably because the conversation always goes like, "Person, are you guys dating?" Us, "No, we're just really good friends." Person, "Oh, well you two are super cute together. You should think about it." Just as a side note, I still have a bit of a crush on her, and if I believed in soulmates, I would definitely believe she is mine. Respect that she still was your friend after rejecting you. When I got rejected, my scarred ego made me unable to communicate properly with her for months. I get a lot of "are you dating?" and then I catch feelings and never tell them because I value the friendship and don't want to lose it. I haven't had this problem in a while though I'm in a happy relationship, but I used to have to deal with this all the time. That you have that dating vibe. I love my friend to death, but trying to flirt with people while we hang out raises the difficulty. Lesbian with a gay male best friend here. Despite our sexualities, we also used to get a lot of people assuming we were together. Back in college, not so much now. My grandmother actually asked me if he was trans. Nope. Trying to explain to herself why I spent so much time with a man. Mostly the downside is just not being able to relate on some of the things you like to rant to your girlfriends about, and since college I don't really have girlfriends. Periods and cramps and weight loss are all things I can talk to my friend about, but he doesn't relate to it in the same way a woman would. Example, he wasn't nearly as excited as me about finding leggings with pockets. People always think you're dating or in a relationship, or even married. Boys and girls can be best friends and not date. Just look at Odd Squad. No sexual tension found there. Had a girl best friend throughout high school. She was like a sister to me, and we would always be talking in the halls, during lunch and class, etc. We are both hockey players and we also love to watch hockey, and we go to each other's games and occasionally we would go see NHL games. Everyone eventually started noticing, and every day people would ask me if we were dating and I would keep saying no, we're just friends. Teachers that we were really friendly with would always say we would make a great couple. It's pretty annoying that you can't be friends with someone and do fun stuff without people assuming stuff and making it awkward. We like to tell each other the funniest stories of when people thought we were dating. Does this happen to anyone else? Yep, happened to me in HS. Had a similar situation with a girl and a lot of people thought we were dating. Hormones. Especially in your teens. Cause you know you don't like them as anything more than a friend, but hormones gotta frick it up. Easy, you'll get shipped with them. I used to have a friend who I talked to a lot. My crush, aka his best friend, started shipping me with him since I talked to him a lot. I also told my crush that I liked him like 3 times that same year. And no, he didn't like me. So, sad days I guess. This sounds like the plot of Toradora. I'm gay so they treat me as if I'm their pet or something. Like I'm just something to flaunt, like, look, I know a guy that likes guys, isn't that great? I am so accepting, you woo. Every Thursday my best friend and I go out to karaoke. I assume everything thinks we are dating, but I'm here trying to find a boyfriend. People assume the less attractive one is in the friend zone, even if it's not the case. Let's be real though, it usually is. Sucks if you're the less attractive one. I feel like every answer is saying people think you're dating or something relating to romance. But I would just like to say it sucks not being able to have sleepovers and or talk about some things. With my female friends I can talk about how much cramps hurt or how annoying it can be when guys and relate to them through that. But my best guy friend can't relate and fully understand cramps or experiences like that. He doesn't really want to talk about how much it hurt and sucked that the guy I had just met ghosted on me. Not that he won't talk about it or doesn't care or understand that periods suck. But my dude bro man friends can't relate to that stuff. I can't go to them when I'm hormonal and crying like I can with female friends. You're not allowed to be just friends. You are absolutely supposed to be dating and at it like rabbits. When's the wedding again? Look at Billy Joel's scenes from an Italian restaurant to see where that ends up. If you have partners of your own, then that's either cheating or an open relationship. Is she dating? Then you're gonna hear all about what incredible fuckheads men are. That was my conclusion. She was still hopeful. I couldn't, for the life of me, tell you why. She was a good friend and a good person. No way she was asking for all that male crap. Changed my behavior somewhat just by being my friend. Honestly, you think women are gaga and dishonest and tricksy down in that testosterone soaked incel part of your brain? Women are nuts to put up with all that male drama. That's the only thing about them that is crazy. It seems like having a female friend helped you grow a lot as a person, which is cool. Them wanting to have sex. As a lesbian, I admit that I do have quite a bit of platonic male friends and acquaintances. Not on purpose, but that's who I end up hanging with socially. At the same time, most of them have been super respectful about not crossing the boundaries, but some have continually tried to sleep with me. I've had to cut some friendships off. Oh, also, their girlfriends worrying that I'm not actually gay, which I feel sad about because I understand the feelings that the girlfriends have. I find one way to nix that is to hang out with my guy friends and their girlfriends and try to let the GF see that we aren't doing anything more than smoking a bowl and watching Comedy Central. When they develop feelings for you, but you just see them as a friend, it's really awkward. So, I'm bi, but heavily favor women and for a long time dated women exclusively. I've had several male friends be so outright disrespectful about my sexuality. It's ridiculous and not something I would ever tolerate again. Other than the "we know you are dating her" problem, I've noticed that my relationship with the two female best friends I've had is more emotional than with any of my guy friends. Which, although isn't something that really bothers me, it does become the reason for a few complications sometimes. The worst part in my opinion is what I'm going through right now. I'm madly in love with her, but she doesn't seem to feel the same way. I'm in the middle. Give me time to think about this limbo, and it is by far the worst I have ever felt in my entire life. And I've grown up with autism and depression. None of it freaking compares to the scar this will eventually leave, since deep down I know her answer. Frick. I've been in your shoes. What helped with me personally was realizing that if we were to start dating, knowing how the both of us tackle relationships, we would end up having to break up, and then that would ruin our friendship. And I'll be damned if I lose her as a friend cause of that. All these answers seem to be saying the same thing. So let me say something original. Not being considered a legit friend by her friends. She goes through a breakup. She has troubles at work. She has a family member die. It's always the female friends who are allowed to be there. You try to provide support like a friend should, and they all think you're trying to get something. It's not like the movies. Most of the time men care because they care, not to get anything in return. People assume our relationship is sexual. Our relationship is so platonic it probably verges on weird sometimes. Like we will literally hang out naked if we have a house to ourselves, since that's honestly just more comfortable. So I'm sure, rightfully so, if someone walked and they'd assume they were interrupting sexy times. Yeah, most people don't do that. You can't even sit next to each other in class without someone yelling "OMG, they're so cute together." You're talking about something your best friend said the other day and your same-sex friends are all like, "OMG, you guys had a simple conversation? You two are so cute together." They do something nice for you and kids in class are like, "OMG, that's the cutest thing ever. Why are you guys not dating yet?" He texts you in class and whoever's sitting next to you immediately screams, "He texted you? OMG, that's cute." I am like, "OMG, you know what else is cute? I'm about to set you on fire, B." I'm repairing my first house I just bought. My buddy went with me to help pick out a tub and shower to replace the broken one. He looks kinda old for his age and I look young for mine, but we're less than 10 years apart. The cashier thought he was my dad. He was upset that that's where her mind went before even thinking we were a couple. I was too busy laughing. Poor guy. LOL. I have a girlfriend. Her boyfriend definitely doesn't like me and she goes to great lengths to not give the wrong impression. I get it. I've had a girlfriend who became way too friendly with a guy friend, and it absolutely hurts to be 100% sure that something's wrong, yet you don't want to seem too controlling. But in the end, good people will know to make platonic friendships and to make you feel secure about it. I'm allowed to be her friend and she's allowed to be mine. But we will do our best not to become a worry of his, without letting him be jealous of our friendship. It's a constant balance, really. Straightish guy here. I made friends with a lesbian a few years back. Figured she'd be a good wingwoman and I could have a girlfriend without the risk of ruining the relationship with sex. After knowing her for a few years, she tells me that she's always had a fantasy of pegging a man but never acted on it because she never had a man she felt comfortable with until me. TL. DR. Don't stereotype people. Some lesbians are great wingwomen, but others will just frick you in the butt. In college my best friend and I were annoyed everyone thought we were dating. We said that wouldn't happen ever. We celebrate our 6th anniversary in a couple months. Best things, they can give you advice and explain why guys act like they do. Worst thing, they can make a degrading joke about you and treat it like you're just one of the guys. Twice this happened to me. One was asexual, and the other had sexual needs that we were just not compatible on that level. The asexual, well, was in high school, so everyone assumed we were banging. I didn't want to date a girl back then because I'd have to bring a girl home, and my home life was an embarrassing shithole. We ended up not being friends after we graduated from some regrettable mistakes that were not due to us being different sexes, but wanting different things from life. But 3 years as a friend I wouldn't trade for anything. I survived being a teenager because of her. The other one I am still friends with. A friend of my wife's helped take care of me after my wife died. Early into our friendship, we established a realization we were not compatible as a boyfriend-girlfriend even though she's bi, I think, and I am hetero. She was exactly what I needed during this tragic time, and she did not take advantage of me emotionally, physically, or otherwise. She drove me around, we had adventures, she got me out of my depressive funk, and because of her, I met other great people. Now I am remarried, and she's a roommate who lives in my guest suite. I have a large house, who helps take care of things around the house. But, of course, everyone assumed we were banging. Not only that, but she was taking advantage of me. Like, what? How? And she got the worst of it. Shame, accusations, and anything that went wrong in her life. Well, it's because she's a fuck up. And the fact I defend her is somehow because she has metaphorically put a spell on me. Is she a perfect goddess of a beautiful life? Number. But she's no more messed up than some of the same people who make accusations of her. The presupposition of unrequited feelings and the sympathy it elicits because one of you doesn't reciprocate the feelings of the other. I'm exasperated by the presumptuous assumptions people make about friendships between opposite genders. They can be quite antagonistic in trying to discern why we are the couple. People's anticipation for an announcement is palpable, but friendship isn't always a precursor to romance despite what rom-coms inculcate. LOL at presumptuous assumptions. Friends shipping you to death. Like, fine, we get it. We're both nerdy and smart and act, but no, we aren't gonna start dating. Are you dating? Number. Why? What's wrong with him? My best friend is a guy. He's really funny and kind and he isn't ugly. And we enjoy each other's company. But there never has and never will be even the faintest inclination of us being romantic. Our personalities work well together, but not in a romantic sense. It's just that simple. I grew up with 2 sisters and as a result have always found it pretty easy to talk to and get along with women. I don't necessarily get along better with women. It's just different. The types of friendships you have are different. Anyway, as a result a reasonable number of my friends have always been women. The most difficult thing I find is the feeling, often confirmed by reality, that their boyfriends are slightly jealous or think there is something going on. The same applies when I'm in a relationship also. I have lost a couple of friends because of a jealous partner when I honestly had no romantic interest at all in their girlfriend. Anyway, it's frustrating especially because I know a lot of people don't think heterosexual men and women can be platonic friends, which is bollocks. They absolutely can. The stigma that if you don't date that friend, you're suddenly gay. Not every friendship of the opposite sex needs to be a girlfriend-boyfriend. Sometimes the two people just like each other's company. constantly being worried that they will suddenly confess they want to date you and make it weird because you only want to be friends. And yes, guys have this fear about female friends too. I'm a guy. Of course sometimes that kind of thing works out, regardless of the direction of who confesses to who, but not always. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.